I've been on numerous bike packing stroke bike touring adventures, and today in this video I'd like to give you some tips, tricks and hacks on how to plan a bike packing adventure. Now, welcome back to the channel, guys. It's great to do these videos. Now, if you like this video, please subscribe, hit that notification bell, and also like the video. And here we go, some tips, tricks and hacks on planning your next bike packing tour. Now, bike packing stroke bike touring is really an extremely rewarding experience. You see a lot of stuff that you wouldn't see in a car. Now, the basis of any good bike packing tour is planning, and some people like to wing it, but I like to wing it to a point. But in addition, I do like to plan, and planning is one of the most enjoyable parts of it. Now, here are the tips and tricks that I use for planning my bike packing tours. Now, my first tip is going to be have a purpose. Decide on somewhere that you want to go, and it could be anything from a hill climb to a lookout. It could be a steep climb, it could be a flat road, it doesn't matter. One of my first trips was I was in the UK, and I really wanted to visit the Normandy beaches. So the purpose of that trip was I got the ferry across to Normandy from the south of England, and basically bike toured, stroke bike packed down all the Normandy beaches. Now, my second tip would be keep it simple. Now, if this is the first time you've done anything like this, then don't try to run before you can walk. Maybe just make it an overnighter or 2 nights. Don't go out and buy expensive equipment because you really don't need to. Just keep it simple and keep it cheap. Now, my next tip is time. Now, work out how much time you've got, how far you want to travel, and just plan your trip likewise. Now, stroke bike touring is not a race unless you obviously are in a race, but ideally my ideal distance is probably no more than 60 k's a day. This allows me time to enjoy the trip and also enjoy the location that I'm getting to. So my maximum is about 60 k's a day. Now, the next tip is actually plan your route. Now, I use a piece of software or an application called Ride with GPS. I've used it for many years. It works for me and I really like it. I can upload the tracks to my Garmin Edge GPS, which is great. There are many others, and you just need to Google them, but Ride with GPS is the one for me. And this, for me, is probably one of the most enjoyable parts. Obviously, next to doing the ride is part of this planning process of planning the route. So we've planned our route, we've decided on how long it's going to take. Now, the next thing is food and water and equipment. Now, this all depends on where your route's going to take you. Now, if you're going remote and you're not going to be within the sight of a town for a few days, then you're obviously going to need to carry a couple of days worth of food and water. And people talk about weight of equipment and such like. Believe me, the heaviest thing that you do carry is your food and your water. 1 litre of water is 1 kilo. And in summer, on a hot day, you're going to need at least 4 or 5 litres of water. So that's 5 kilos plus your food. And if you're going to do that for a couple of days, so that could be 10, 15 kilos of water. And water is probably one of the most important things that you can carry. Now, for instance, a couple of years ago, I did the EV6 cycle route basically goes from the east coast of France to the Black Sea. I did about 1,000 k's of it in summer, and to be quite honest, I wasn't expecting it to be as hot as it was. There was 36, 38 degree days. Towards the end of it, I was drinking between 6 and 10 litres of water, and that all had to be carried. Now, that particular trip I used a trailer, so that made it a bit easier. However, so that is something that you really do need to think about. Water is going to be the most important thing that you need to carry on your trip. And lastly, and probably most importantly, safety. Now, you've planned your route, you've planned your time, you've got your food and water. Next, you really do need to let someone know your plans and your timescales. You could fall off your bike and not be too far out of a town and maybe lie there for a period of time. And so you really do need to let someone know where you're going and what time you expect to be there. And if you are going to be remote, certainly think about carrying either a satellite communicator or a personal locator beacon, or both, just in case that emergency does happen. Now that concludes this video, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you have found it useful. Please, you know what to do. Please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell to get updates. And we will see you in the next video.